When a classic villain from DC steals the powers of the Mighty Thor, it is up to Captain Marvel to help Dr. Blake reawaken Odin's enchantment. What's up, Doc? I'm Pugs Bunny. We covered the Batman x Deadpool crossover, and now we're taking a look at the newest Marvel and DC story. Before we get started, keep in mind this is from the Infinity Comics line, which is made to read vertically, so I'm going to make sure we read it the way it was meant to. And if you use the code crossover25, you can download it for free on marvel.com. Now, let's get into it. Years ago, in the city. Why can't I remember? The cane. Being the cane does something, or summons something. Someone. Why can't I? Donald Blake. What? Suddenly, a cool-looking cosmic train pulls up in front of Dr. Blake. Have no fear. Everything has been arranged. The slick red cosmic train takes Dr. Blake through this ancient cavern, full of temples and statues. Strange subway car, with lights like a demon's eyes, and it brought me here? What is this place? Dr. Blake looks on, and he sees 7 statues representing the 7 sins, 7 demons turned to stone by the wizard, the ruler of this realm. Pride, envy, greed, hatred, selfishness, laziness, and injustice. Who are you? And who are you? I am Mama Rogan, the wizard. This is Captain Marvel, my champion inside time and space, and you are Donald Blake, or should I call you by your other name? The Mighty Thor? Yes, I remember. I am Thor, son of Odin. And when my cane strikes the ground, Odin's enchantment transforms me into my true self, with my true power. But why isn't it working? Because your power, the power of Thor, has been stolen by some unknown entity. So the enchantment is confused, as was your memory. We must return your true form at once. And perhaps one type of magic lightning can do what another cannot. So summon your lightning, Captain. Captain Marvel grabs the shoulder of Dr. Blake. Speak the word. Shazam! And with a bolt of lightning, Captain Marvel reverts to Billy Batson, while Dr. Blake turns into the Mighty Thor. For Shazam is a magic word, a word of transformation, spelled from 6 ancient gods and heroes. Solomon, wisdom. Hercules, strength. Atlas, stamina. Zeus, power. Achilles, courage. And Mercury, speed. These 6 names imbue the captain with all his marvelous abilities, as well as switch him with his mortal counterpart, Billy Batson. And it seems they also jump-started Odin's sleeping enchantment to make me Thor once more. Yet my hammer Mjolnir has not changed, and without it, I will return to the form of Blake in 1 minute. Not so. You are at the Rock of Eternity, young god, where time as you know it does not pass. We have far longer than 60 seconds to... Correction, wizard! Wait. The wizard is cut off by some kind of blast. You don't even have 1 second. The captain's enemy, Mr. Mime, but with a humanoid body? The body of a god, you mean? Or rather, several gods. Shazam isn't the only one who can turn his name into a word of transformation. Through magic, science, and genius, I've done likewise. That's when we see the list of characters that Mr. Mime has stolen the abilities of. Mephisto, evil. Ibis, magic. Slugurt. Having a hard time reading what that exactly is, but I think it might be shape-shifting. Thor, might. Etrigan, cunning. Rayo, science. Mixies Spitlick, mischief. Icarus, power. Nightmare, fear. And Darkseid, evil. Using the powers of 10 gods and demons. Observe. Hey, you got evil down twice. Evil upon evil, I'd expect no less from Mr. Mind, and nothing less could breach my sanctum. Quite so. But from here in the Rock of Eternity, I can reach all of time and space and kill it dead, and then my grubs will grow fat on creation's corpse. Like heck they will. Shazam! What the? Oh no. I've linked my magic lightning with Thor's, so it works on us both. When Billy summoned me, it banished him and returned Donald Blake. And if the power of Thor isn't in Thor, it comes right back to me. Here, feel it for yourself, with a little extra from Icarus on top. Even I felt that. I can't leave Mr. Mind with Thor's powers, so Shazam! Yeah, the lightning hit us both again. So there's one less god for Mr. Mind to call on. Ah, Thor has returned. So he has. Let's see how he deals with the sweet science of Rayo and a sprinkle of mix yes Spitlick's magic. Hellas horns. Ugh. To me, even the great wizard is like, oh the irony, a puny worm. But thanks for keeping my throne warm. Unhand me. The wizard's in trouble, and I can't even say the magic word. To summon thy lightning would give the wicked worm my power, but perhaps you may summon mine instead. Your cane? Wait, I get it. Here goes nothing. Holy moly, I'm back, and your hammer's back too. 'Tis yours as well, Captain, for thou art worthy. Thus Odin's spell restores thy form as it does mine. Now come here, my friend. We have a worm to conquer. Ah, easier said than done. Even with Thor's hammer, I still have the power of 9 other gods and demons. Don't forget, here. Taste Etrigan's own hellfire, and Mephisto's too. Odin's blood. And while you're distracted by that, I'll take this. No you don't. That hammer belongs to a friend of mine. Keep thy grip fast on the hammer, Captain. For it contains the enchantment of Odin. Of course. Captain Marvel lets go of Mjolnir. Butterfingers. As for me, I don't have to be worthy of the hammer. I don't even have to lift it, because the second the handle hits the ground, it will trigger the enchantment and give me once again the power of Thor. Actually, that's what the cane does. The hammer does something else, right, Thor? Yet I told the truth, Captain. 'Tis indeed the enchantment of Odin to bring forth the true self. Yeah, I am a worm again. I'll destroy you for this, just as soon as I say nothing. With your power gone, my magic is law here, and it has taken your voice. But I can think of 9 beings who would like to speak to you. Let's start with Darkseid and work alphabetically. Here's your cane, Thor, and if I speak the magic word for us both, you and it should be aligned again. A moment, my friend. There is something my mortal self should know. I can lift it too. I always wondered. Thanks for your help, Captain, and for everything. Anytime, Dr. Blake, anytime. And that's the end of the story. Written by Al Ewing, art by Jethro Morales, color art by Eric Arcaniga, letterer was VC's Joe Savino, cover artist was Martin, oh man, I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry. Cover artist was Martin Kokolo, and color artist was Matthew Wilson. Production by Jasmine Alvarez. Digital comic specialist was Annie Chang. Senior manager, digital, is Tim Smith III. Or Tim Smith 3, because he could possibly be a robot. Consulting editors was Katie Kubert and Kathleen Wisniewski. Assistant editor, Cy Pedro Beltran. Editor is Mark Bazzo. So forgive me and correct me if I butchered some of those names. Credit to this team for this bite-sized crossover. I'd say it's a satisfying story with two characters who work really well together. Captain Marvel and Thor's chemistry just works. The two personalities flow well with each other, and it took a unique spin with Captain Marvel's lightning enabling Thor to emerge with the downside of, Marvel reverting back to Billy. Also, Dr. Blake trusting the random magic train that pulls up is a little silly, right? He has no memory of Thor, but then, this mystic train comes through and he's just like, everything's been arranged, so I'll board it. But he probably just had that feeling he was in good hands since he couldn't remember anything at all. I love that Captain Marvel was worthy as well. It seems like something that you don't think a lot about, what characters from DC would be worthy to hold Mjolnir. Billy Batson makes sense. The pure heart he has, and Thor letting Dr. Blake test his worthiness was really sweet. I like crossovers that don't have the heroes fighting each other, but the two have had a couple crossovers in the past, one being during the Marvel vs. DC stories, where they did battle, but that's a story for a different day. I wouldn't have minded seeing Billy Batson and Dr. Blake interacting more as well. I feel like they'd have a really cool dynamic with each other. But the two being friends is right up my alley. It's almost as wholesome as Daredevil and Green Arrow's crossover, where they became friends after a battle with the League of Shadows and Count Vertigo. With these new Marvel and DC crossovers, I think this one, along with a lot of the short stories in the Batman x Deadpool, are slightly better than the Batman and Deadpool crossover. I'm not hating on that crossover either. They're a funny pairing, really, but they had a very run-of-the-mill Stop the Joker storyline, which kind of takes it out of me, since anytime Batman crosses over with what feels like anybody that's not a DC character, it's always involving the Joker somehow. Which, I get it, that's his most popular villain, but his rogues gallery is so legendary. There's so many good stories. I'm sure there's been a lot of good stories that didn't have a run-of-the-mill Stop the Joker story, but again, those are stories for a different day. This is about Captain Marvel and Thor. But what did you think of this crossover? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? I think they told a pretty unique story, and like I said before, the chemistry is pretty wholesome, and I could see them teaming up more, especially if Loki and Black Adam decided to team up. That would be a pretty good crossover too. Also, I just learned that the writer for this, Al Ewing, wrote the Harley Quinn story, Silent but Deadly. So, do with that what you will. Love and sub for more, and that's all, folks.